welcome back to Road to Success. I'm so excited to be joined by Patrick White, the co-founder of Harbinger Theatre.
Hello.
So I'm so excited because I got to speak to you recently for our Love Stories, the Capital Region series. I got to speak a little bit to you and to your partner, Chris, about how you met, and people just loved your story because the way that you met was just so unique. And it's interesting because your job now is a big part of, a role in your love story, would you say?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We are collaborators. In life and in work, and in art. Yeah, he's a co-founder of the theater company, and he directs just as much as me.
Young people who are interested in directing, acting, from your own experience, what advice would you give them? Because it doesn't come without its challenges, especially when you're looking at financial stability right away.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I did an interview with a 16 or 17-year-old last week from Green Tech, I think, high school. But she asked me, what advice I had. And I was like, this sounds, and it sounded to me at the time like, oh my God, really? But do a one-man show. Create a one-man show. Create a show for yourself. Pick a subject, pick a historical figure, and find something that you can throw all your attention in and create a one-man show for yourself. I knew at a certain point in my Manhattan trajectory, I should either, go to grad school and get an MFA, or I should create a one-man show and start writing for myself. I mean, even if I went to grad school, I think the advice would still be create work for yourself. Don't rely on someone else coming along and picking you. Don't rely on the audition and being held up as someone who is going to be selected. Because then you're always at the mercy of others. And to be a theater artist, that doesn't need to happen. Um, Primarily, I created the theater company because I get to choose all my own shows. People ask if I'd rather act or direct, and it's like I like to choose my material. I like to, choose what I'm working on because I want to work on stuff that I want to say, not necessarily just stuff that I'd be good in or that would be popular or it's like I want art for me is an expressive thing, and it should be, I want to tell stories that are deeply personal to me, that I care about and, that goes towards, a progressive view of the world and, how I would like to see it.
Now, hopefully folks did watch the love story between you and Chris Foster, but if they didn't, long story short, the two of you met in the theater community in Albany, and you've been together for 24/25 years.
25.
And eventually the two of you came together and you created your own theater company called Harbinger Theatre. Tell me a little bit about the inception of the theater company. What does it mean? And a little bit more about the mission.
Yeah, sure. Well, I was teaching class. I had a private acting class Saturdays. Right now, I'm at Madison Theater, and I like to do new work. So I was always bringing in plays that I like to work on. I like to do Capital Region premieres, shows that haven't been done in the area, because a number of shows, are done all the time at everyone's theater. Everyone does this play, and there are 2 dozen plays that get done all the time, and especially in the times that we're living in now, I feel like we need new material, we need new stories, we need to see new representation. If we want to start thinking anew, if we want change, then we should be doing new plays. So I bring new plays into my acting class, and when COVID hit, I was having class at the Masonic Lodge on Irving Place, Clinton. I don't, it's right behind City Hall. um, uh, and I couldn't get back in there in September of 2020. They weren't allowing outside groups in. So I went into the Albany Barn, which we had used before in Arbor Hill. And as soon as the governor allowed public performances, April of 2021, we did a scene night, which we've always done with our class, just a collection of works, scenes, and monologues that we're doing in class. And we do the scene night and do the performance. And I'm like, I really want to do a play. So we did a play in June, like 2 months later, of, you know, material that we had been working on in class. And then we did the play, and I was like, we should form a theater company. So we formed a theater company, and it was a great deal, number of my cast, a class, and we all got together in my living room with masks on, and we set up a season. And it pretty much evolved from that. We had a great friend, Nick Nealon, who had, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars of lighting equipment and curtains, and he supplied the Albany Barn with all its lighting equipment, and we just had this opportunity at the time during COVID, uh, to create this production. In our first production, when everyone was doing one-man and two-man shows because they wanted to keep it socially distanced, we did, crazily, The Christians by Lucas Nath, which was a mega church. And we turned the Albany Barn into this mega church. And Nick carved this, 12-foot cross out of styrofoam and lit it in this way. And we had a huge projection screen, like you're sitting in a stadium, of the pastor doing his speech. So that was our first production, The Christians, in 2021. And we had so much material, because we had been doing it all in class. We were like, okay, let's do this play, this play, this play, this play. And it all kind of like fell into place. And I think the first year we did 6 productions, in 2022. And since, we've done 4 each year. And we don't have a home. We used Albany Barn quite a bit, but their rents have tripled since COVID. So now we like bounce around, and we've used 9 different venues. It has worked out so far. We've done 18 Capital Region premieres. We've done 2 world premieres, and we've worked with over 100 different actors. And this is all within 4 years. Yeah, and we've been on the best of lists every year. The first production that we got best of the year for 2022 was Andy and the Orphans. We did a play of, the lead character has Down syndrome, and we got this fantastic actor friend, Tom Mooney, from Averill Park, who has Down syndrome, to play this part. And it was, one of the 19 shows that we've done, that we're exceptionally proud of.
And what do you have coming up?
Yeah. We have A Distant Country Called Youth, which is a one-man show starring me, directed by Linda Shirey. And it is the collected letters of Tennessee Williams, from 1920 to 1945. It's his youth, up until the opening of the Glass Menagerie on Broadway. And it's letters to his sister, his mother, his grandparents, and then also to his agents, to actors, to the producer of Glass Menagerie. And it moves into his professional life once he started getting success. And I chose it because of my connection to the Glass Menagerie and how much it means to me. And personally, I just needed to spend some time with Tennessee Williams and go back to why I do what I do, and get inspired, and re-energized to keep going.
Is there anything I didn't ask you that you want to make sure that you include or that we talk about?
Um, I at times, well, in the capital region, I've been embarrassed to tell people I'm an actor, and at times I avoid it. Like, people ask, "What do you do?" And I go, "Oh, I make something up." Or now, for the past 10 years, I'm a standardized patient at Albany Medical Center. So I tell people that. And that's such an interesting job. Everyone wants to know about that, where I play symptoms for the medical students to come in and diagnose and treat. So they have like fake encounters, and I have, my heart's really hurting. And they take in all your whatever, your information. But a lot, even when I started that job, you had to do a physical to start the job, just to see what your baseline is. And the doctor asked me, like, what have you done or what have you been doing? And I go, I'm an actor. And he goes, in a sort of snarky way, like, oh, what movies would I know you from? Like you couldn't be someone you couldn't be an actor unless I recognize you, unless you're on the cover of People magazine. You couldn't make your living as an actor. Or he was challenging me, like, you know and um it's a weird thing of my life. In I do make my living from theater, right? But in this roundabout, like, I've done everything, and like standardized patienting. I'm doing that because I'm an actor. That came through Capdist Auditions, which is our audition listserv. You know what I mean? And I make money at the Gazette, and my acting classes and things like that. But it was never, there's no career path. I just did what I loved. It's just like, all I want to do is fill my life with theater. And then I go about and I pick this up and pick that up. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, I'll go see a show, and, or I'll interview someone, or I'll, teach an improv, or, you know, go and do that. So it's more like, I don't know that there is a one and I think that's probably true of a lot of professions now. Like, no one stays with the same company for their entire life anymore. That a lot of people just, make it up as they go along and pick up things, as they that interest them. But yeah, um, I've just followed, trying to fill my life with as much theater as possible.
Well, wonderful words to end on. That was great. Thank you so much for watching Road to Success, and thank you for your time, Patrick.
Thanks, Cassie.